You do the crime, you pay the fine. BNP is paying up $8.83 billion, which is pretty close to all of the bank's pre-tax profit last year. This is more than just a slap on the wrist, says Columbia University business law professor John Coffey.
This is probably the most complete settlement yet that shows the new style of U.S. enforcers. Not only is the corporation paying a record fine for a European bank, just under $9 billion, but in addition, it's pleading guilty to a felony. That's something other banks like HSBC and Royal Bank of Scotland escaped last year when their own misconduct was probably more serious.
BNP's crime? Helping Iran, Sudan, and Cuba go around U.S. sanctions for 8 years. U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder.
Banks thinking about conducting business in violation of United States sanctions should think twice before they do so, because the Justice Department will not look the other way. In this case, BNP went to really elaborate lengths to conceal prohibited transactions, to cover its tracks, and to deceive United States authorities.
In addition to the fines and the guilty plea, BNP will not be allowed to conduct certain U.S. dollar transactions for 1 year beginning next January, taking aim at the bank's oil and gas finance business. And some senior executives have been forced out. Coffey says in total, this action is a signal that the U.S. is playing hardball with banks abroad and at home.
But I think the American public wants what they're seeing today. There was general dissatisfaction last year when Attorney General Holder, he didn't really say this, but he implied this, that there were some banks that were too big to jail. And I think the public reaction to that, which was highly negative, has produced a change in attitude. And we've seen all this year U.S. regulators being tough to J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, and now in succession, Credit Suisse and BNP Paribas.
Despite the guilty pleas and the fines and the firings, the bank did score one small victory. Its New York State banking license was not revoked, and the company says the agreement won't hinder its ability to serve the vast majority of its clients. BNP, whose shares have slumped 17% since announcing it was preparing for a fine, expects to take a €5.8 billion charge against earnings in the just ended quarter.